And we're back. Back in black. You can say.
You're a hussy.
Yeah.
The transition in your you're like, like, wait, no, wait a minute. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
because I was going to be sincere at first, and I'm like, let me turn this into a joke. Now let's start the show. What's your hand doing? I don't know.
You're scooping something. That's
I'm
the
scooping
scoop.
something.
Daniel's scooping.
I'm trying to get the scoop of the day here for the NOS team. You know, it'd be cool if you threw like black lights like on your fingers and turn off the lights and have them glow.
Yes, rave.
You seem like one of those,
like
like one of those goth kids. You know, have you seen the video where those goth kids are dancing underneath the bridge? You could totally belong in there.
Are we doing an episode or just chat?
Yes, we are.
From movies to video games, welcome to Marie Plays It All. Today's episode is Late to the Game with my fishbowl memoried friend, Daniel.
And if you haven't seen that episode, then that comment makes absolutely no sense to you. But we're going to leave it vague. So you have to go back and watch it just to catch this reference.
We'll put it right there. Put it right there. Yeah. And what Late to the Game, where my co-host Daniel, the fellow goldfish brain, forces me to watch popular movies that I embarrassingly have not seen.
Yes. So I make her answer a series of questions before she watches a movie. And if she's already seen the movie, she gets to play the Uno reverse card on me and forces me to watch a movie. And then we watch it, come back, see how right or how wrong she was on those questions. And then most importantly, find out, will she watch it again, play it back, or will she rage quit? Welcome to Late to the Game.
That's the scoop. Daniel just gave you the scoop. Scoop it late to the game.
Scoop it. It's like Baskin Robbins 31 flavors in here. We got the scoops.
Scoop bad. Scoop bad. Scoop bad. I already know that I won the shirt game today because I have Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner.
Oh, no. You want to know how I win? You didn't even see my shirt.
Oh, that wins.
Army of Darkness. There's my boomstick.
It's an Army of Darkness and Doom crossover, so you win times two. Times two.
Boom, baby. Exactly. So like you didn't even see this shirt. I was just keeping it hidden.
Yeah, that wins for sure. I remember there's a picture of you at a meeting Billy Zane and you're wearing that shirt. Billy Zane.
That's right. Billy Zane at the Monster Palooza. It wasn't just monsters, it was paloozas.
Paloozas. It was monsters paloozas.
Paloozas. It was paloozas and monsters.
Yeah, that's how I knew that you were cool, because I didn't know you when I first saw that picture. I was like, I want to be on this podcast. Well, it's not a strong start. And I go and I creeped everybody.
This guy knows Billy Zane?
I was like, what?
What?
This guy. And then I saw your shirt and I was like, he's cool. He's got to be, we got to be co-hosts on a show eventually, because obviously Doomstick.
Hey, pen that one. Here's my doomstick. We're like 20 minutes into the episode and we haven't even said a damn thing yet. All we said is the intro. Okay. So listeners, hope you're getting a treat out of this one.
Give me the movie already.
Okay. All right. This is one that is you're obviously going to know about this movie, but you haven't seen this movie. And now it's time that I force you to watch this movie. Spider-Man Into the SpiderVERSE.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna pull your head back and lift you up and hold it so you can sit there and watch Spider-Man. That's it. Watch it. Pop quiz, hot shot. What's the movie about?
Do I need to watch any other Spider-Man movies before this? Are you sure?
Not at all. Positive.
Not even like the other. Isn't there like a Welcome Home or something? I don't need to watch that.
That's entirely different. So what is the movie about?
Hi. Okay. It's a bunch of Spider-Man timelines.
What? How do you know that? You've been cheating. Whoa!
Spider-Verse, I don't know. I mean,
okay.
So that's what I'm guessing. It's like all the Spider-Man coming together at some point. The Spider-Man are all just
unite together.
Like,
the Spider-Man.
Yes,
it sounds like a last name.
John
Spider-Man.
It is.
Yeah.
John Spider-Man. And they're all going to be pointing at each other in the meme way the whole movie, and it's gonna be all intense, and they're gonna have to
Why is it intense?
say
Because they're pointing at each other and they're taking it as an
no,
insult?
no, it's a good thing. They're taking it as a what? And then
And then it's just that over and over of just every time they catch a new Spider-Man pointing at him, that's how they react every time. Whoa!
correct.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
correct.
okay. All right, you know this one.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. You turn around. Whoa! There's
Done.
another one.
Every time. Yes, that's the whole entire movie, and there's gonna be a lot of like animation and colors, and when someone's gonna die. I think someone important's gonna die. One of the chicks. I don't know.
Who?
There's like what's that
Can't
one's
tell you.
name?
I
Gwen.
like it.
Ooh, is there a Gwen? Is there a Gwen? There's a Mary Jane and a Gwen. Is it
Okay.
Gwen one of them?
So which one
Is her
dies?
name
Gwen? Is
is her name
that the one you're going
yeah.
with?
No, wait.
Gwen? Is that how you want to
Is her
tell
name
it?
Gwen?
Gwen? Yeah.
Gwen?
Gwen.
Yeah.
Oh
So
no, Gwen when she dies. Is that how it sounds?
yeah.
What would be his day job? John
John
Spiderman.
Spiderman. He works in the conservatory of tarantulas at the zoo, and
Oh.
yes, and so when kids come to like view like the tarantula exhibit, like he's like, "Huh, I'm John Spiderman." Is like, "Oh, my parents didn't know that, I was gonna come out and love spiders so much, and I was living up to the name." And then
Even though the parents didn't dictate his last
his
name.
last name. Hey, I know. I was saying it, and I'm like, "Oh crap."
John Spiderman, normally most zoos uses a glass container, glass to block the kids from the spiders, but not at this one. It's my job to block the kids away from the tarantulas.
The tarantulas are his life. His parents didn't
Mm,
realize that by the last name
he
that
found
they
his
gave
calling
him, he was going to be. They're like, "Oh, you know what? We're going to name this kid John," and all Johns love spiders and tarantulas. So,
easily. Yeah. Okay. So that's what he does for his day job. Gwen dies. How does she die? By tarantulas?
no, she's oh, hey, so it's going to come down to oh wait, I think I might know something. I think
Okay.
it's going to come down to like having to save her or having to save like the universe or something.
Okay. That's pretty big stakes there.
Well, it is because what if it's like the person that you love the most in this world,
But then
and
that
so you have
world
to
wouldn't exist
sacrifice
without
them?
her.
No, it wouldn't. But it's just like it still would be like, oh, I have to save all of humanity, but I gotta lose you. Like it's still sad.
Okay. I like he went, oh, little. You put like a stop in there. Like there's only a certain limit to you feeling bad. And then like that's it. You hit your quota and it stops. They pulled it away. The free
Exclamation
trial's
mark.
gone. The free trial's gone.
Oh,
It's almost like the conductor just quiet and stops your emotion. Who is the main villain in the movie?
oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do you
Oh
know any
geez.
Spider-Man villains?
There's Green Goblin. Is that one?
I don't know if you're more unsure about the color of him or the thing that he is. Are you more not knowing that it's green, or are you more not knowing that it's goblin? Because you
I
sounded
know it's
very unsure when
Goblin.
you said that. Okay.
I know it's Goblin. Is he Green Goblin? Is he Chartreuse Goblin? Is he Periwinkle
Chartreuse.
Goblin?
Oh,
I
he's
don't know.
definitely Periwinkle. Oh, he's a Periwinkle goblin.
Burnt Sienna Goblin? No, so Green Goblin, right? Wasn't that like Willem Dafoe in one of them?
Mm-hmm. Willem Dafoe,
Okay,
yes. Okay.
Willem. I
Is
know
that the
it's
main
not
villain in
William, okay?
it's Willem? I
I know.
know. Is he the main villain in this movie though? Yes, because that's
No.
the only one you can name.
Yeah, no, but he's not in this one. The main villain in this Spider-Man movie is going to be a dark timeline Spider-Man.
Okay.
It's gonna
So it's
be
it's him, but like an evil version of him that comes in and tries to fight him.
yeah.
He just wants to. He just fights other
Oh,
ones of him.
he
He got
wants
pointed at
to
and he didn't like it.
he w- he was like he's the one who wants to save dark timeline Gwen and sacrifice all of humanity, and all the other Spider-Men have to come and be like, no, listen, We need to save
Mm.
humanity. It's more important, and that's what it's about. So
Dark timeline.
yeah.
So they have to go to dark timeline, Spider-Man's timeline, to stop that dark Gwen. So so John Spider-Man goes into that guy's dimension or world.
Yeah.
As you called it. Okay.
I was gonna say Juan Spider-Man, but that would be racist. Probably. I probably shouldn't say that.
Yes.
Okay. So
but I mean, you should still say that.
Hans Spider-Man. There you go.
There you go.
I got Die Hard
Hans
in my
Spider-Man.
mind. Hans Spider-Man.
There you go. Yep. There you go. Hans Spider-Man. Okay. What makes the animation so unique in this film?
I'm going to say the animation is so unique in this film because it actually was drawn and it wasn't made with computer. It was actually like old school people doing actual
2D
art.
2D art animation.
Yeah.
It's
and
like
it
cell
wasn't
animation.
Yeah.
That's the old Disney, like think like Little Mermaid.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's going to be like real people drew this flip page style. I hit myself.
You got yourself in your eye.
It's like
you flipped it so aggressively.
On Spider-Man web, but just like.
Be careful now, Marie. We don't have workers' comp on this podcast. How is the multiverse activated in this movie? You don't even know what I just said.
Yeah, how is the multiverse activated in this movie?
Yeah.
God dang it. So basically the kids are all at John
What
Spider-Man's.
kids? What kids?
I don't know.
When
at
the
the
kids
zoo.
enter the story?
They're at the zoo.
Got it. Okay.
This is not. I know that I shouldn't say that. That's just stupid. I know it's nothing to do with the movie. How does it actually happen? How does the Spider-Verse, how does it like really like
yeah.
How does it bust? Like how does it how do you think of things so fast, Daniel? You'd be like, oh, this is magic. Okay.
Throw a random question at me and watch me do it live.
No, it's a no, because it's just gonna put me to shame.
It's a party trick. It's a party trick.
I'm going to say that the multiverse is activated via the dark timeline, and it's going to be Gwen. It's going to be her because she knows that Hans Spider-Man is going to the dark timeline one is going to want to protect her, and she knows that's wrong, and she is going to activate it somehow. She's going to. It does help you think a little bit. Like I think this is like dancing? Probably no, not through interpretive dancing. I'm
meditation.
Thinking no. I'm thinking that there's going to be a dream sequence, and she learned somehow that there's actually these other
astral projection.
Well, she learns that there's these other like there's the other universes with like other sides like in this dream thing she has, because like Gwen has powers too. I don't know. Gwen has powers also, and then she's gonna activate it somehow in her dream with something. My God, I'm blanking so hard right now. I don't know why. If you ask me anything about Olivia Hussey or Black Christmas right now, I'll be like, yeah. Right now, I'm like, oh God, you're asking me about like Spider-Man universe physics and like celestial beings and like timelines. And then it's just like, oh, what's going to activate it? I don't know. Is it like some sort of actual tangible thing, like some sort of spider like bites her, or is there like a gemstone? Is there like a
I love this because this means you haven't explored any multiverse stuff yet, so you don't even know how it works.
No idea. And the thing is, it could be anything. It could be anything. And I'm like, what is it really? Or what is it that I want to see? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm panicking. I'm starting to sweat.
This question I've stumped you harder than any other question in any other episode we've done of this.
I've never panicked so much about a question, though. Like, I've never, because this is like huge. How was the multiverse activated? That's a big deal. Somehow through Gwen. I don't know. Evil timeline Gwen. I don't know.
Does she have a special watch or something? Does she have like a mood ring?
No, she finds. No, she finds something. She finds something in this dream. Maybe it's her. It's her. Other.
Okay.
Self.
Here.
Wait. It's her other timeline self meets her in her dream somehow to warn her about this, and then she's like, oh, and then they touch, and they kind of, and then they were like, oh my gosh, and now they're all combined. Now it's like the dimensions meeting, and when they meet, they go like this, and then that's it.
So this sounds more like a Gwen story than it does John Spider-Man.
I think it is more of a Gwen story than a
Got it.
Spider-Man story, this
Got it.
movie.
Okay.
In
I
a
like how
sense.
I like how when you started describing the movie, you got more interested in the female role, so you just started running with that halfway through your explanation of the movie. Hey, that
No,
works.
it's not
Okay.
like the female role. It's just I think that she plays a big part in it. And I think it has to do with like emotions and like love and stuff. But
Okay.
that aside for the greater of humanity.
Got it. Okay. All right. Who does Stan Lee play in this movie? Do you know who Stan Lee is?
Yeah, he's the guy who the writer comic book Marvel guy.
Okay. Who
It
does he play in the movie?
he plays a comic shop owner in this movie. He
Oh,
owns a comic book store in this movie, so it's kind of cute that when they go in to like get their like comics, like in one of the timelines and one of the Spider-Man, the kid one, the newer one, the kid one, he goes and it's like
what's his name?
animation, and he goes, I don't remember, it's Miles Morales.
Okay.
Is that
Oh, he's
right?
not Spider-Man? He's not Miles
No, no,
Spider-Man?
not none of them are Spider-Man. Okay, there's like Peter Parker. There's all okay.
Well, you
Like I
had
just like
John
saying,
Spider-Man.
I like saying Spider-Man. I will use it more. But he goes
Okay.
in. It's like animated, and he goes in and to the comic book store, and he's all like, oh, and they know each other, and then he's a comic book owner, and he's like, yeah,
Got it. So he reads Spider-Man comics, or does he just read other comics? Does
he
Spider-Man
reads.
exist in this world? In his world?
He is Spider-Man. Does
Okay,
he
so
exist?
yeah, so
But
if
does
so
he? But
so
does
there's
he
no
exist?
Spider-Man that exists then. So then that means if there's comic books, then there wouldn't be Spider-Man comics, right? If he's Spider-Man and Spider-Man didn't exist before him if he was a kid.
But what if Spider-Man does exist and then he has to take the role to be Spider-Man to like help? You know what? No, I'm saying he does exist and that's his favorite type of comic book. And he goes
Okay.
there and he
So
has to
he
embody him at some point.
so is he like a sidekick, like a Robin to a Batman? Or does he have to take him over?
He's another dimension Spider-Man.
Another dimension, but in his dimension
Mhm.
that he's naturally from, is there a Spider-Man in there? It is?
Well, it's in the comic book, and it's in the comic book because he is real, but in another
Mm,
dimension and not in his
got it,
dimension.
got it, got it, got it. So Spider-Man doesn't exist in his dimension, just in the comic books.
No. Right. But then he finds out later that it's real. Because Stan Lee knows all about the dimensions. Like he knows all
Got
about
it,
it.
got it.
He's
So he
kind of
gives
like
them all
in
the
on the thing.
answers. Got it. So he's like a narrator of
He
the
aids
movie.
him. He aids him along his way.
Makes sense. Okay. What is Miles' struggles in this film?
Spidey sense envy.
Okay, because everybody has it and he wants it too.
Well, he not everybody has it, but
Mm,
he wants it because he is his favorite comic book and it's his favorite
mm,
thing. And then he sees a lot of injustice in his
naturally.
uh city and whatever, maybe his neighborhood or his school or whatever. And then he's like, oh God, like I just wish I could do something that I could help. But he's like skinny and like kind of weak and feeble, and he doesn't know how to help. Maybe he's a little bit dorky because he's like a comic book nerd, and then he's bullied, and he's like, but I want to do something, but I can't. So then he somehow gets his Spider-Man powers, and that's a good thing. But that's what he's struggling with: inadequacy and feeling like he's helpless and wants to help, but he can't. He doesn't have the means to help people.
Okay. How does he get his Spider-Man powers? Since you alluded to it.
Well, he goes to the zoo for a school trip, and then
John Spider-Man. So he meets John
and
Spider-Man.
then no, John Spiderman comes out and he's the one showing the kids the tarantulas and stuff. He's the zookeeper exhibit keeper, remember John Spiderman? He's
Yeah.
not a Spider-Man. He's not a Spider-Man, but he's
Oh,
a
he's not
Spiderman.
actually Spider-Man. He's just John Spider-Man.
No, no, but
Got
he
it.
knows of Spider-Man and he can see the potential in this Miles and sees that he has a good heart and that could actually help people and that he's pure. And then he has his like special, he's like, oh, and you, son, come here this way. I got a
Here's the
special
Mogwai in the
tarantula to
back
show
of the
you. Yes, yes, here. I got a spit come. I got you just for you in particular. And all the other kids like, oh man. And then he goes back and he's like, oh, you, yeah, only you can
get bit.
see this. And then he's like, he's like, ah, and then it's like, aha, oh,
There you
okay.
go. Okay, so John Spider-Man then. So if there's no Spider-Man in that dimension, John Spider-Man clearly knows Spider-Man exists in another dimension. But like
Mm.
how though?
Mm.
How?
Because he's the son of Stan Lee, who knows all about it. And Stan Lee,
Oh,
yeah,
so I see. So
yeah,
Stan Lee's so
yeah,
creative that he just gave the kid his own last name as well. Called him Spider-Man because he wrote Spider-Man.
yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Okay. Who is the
Yes.
love interest in this film?
When
Gwen, there you go. Who is Miles's role model in the film and what happened to that person?
I thought his role model was going to be like Spider-Man in the
Okay,
comic books.
still could be.
But
Okay.
what happened to him, I don't know. Maybe what happens to him in the maybe he reads like the last issue of Spider-Man and he ends up Spider-Man ends up getting hurt or dying in a specific way that happens in a past Spider-Man movie that we've seen
Mm,
in real life in our life. And
hmm
he's like, "Oh no." And then somehow and then Gwen was like, "Oh my God, I had this dream." And then I met like a dark timeline version and she says this is all going to happen and there's all these dimensions, there's all these Spider-Man and Spider-Man's real, Miles. Spider-Man's real. And then the web of situations and all the universes come together and as one.
Come together. What makes Miles more unique than the other Spider people?
Okay, so he's like nerdy, like really nerdy. It's why he gets bullied and stuff a lot, right? And he already knows a lot and reads a lot about like physics and interdimensional stuff just because he's
Mm,
interested in it. So he's like well versed on it already. And all the other Spider-Men don't get it, but he knows because he does like little science projects and all this stuff.
he's
He's a
more
huge
nerdy.
geek. Yeah, which is good. A good thing, obviously. But yeah, so he has like these brains that the other Spider-Mans don't have and he has like the pure heart but he also is like super smart and I was gonna start rapping because I rhymed but then I just couldn't I didn't want to do it
Please.
because I'm really embarrassed. No, 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 no.
Well, in another
Please do.
multi-dimension, Marie actually rapped on the podcast.
Oh yeah, my dark
Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah, in the dark timeline. Okay. What is the antagonist really trying to achieve in the movie?
Well, he wants all the Spider-Men to come together and defeat them all at once. Like just really
Mm,
so all this like end of the world and having to sacrifice like the girl you love and everything in order to save the world is all a ploy. It's not actually true. He just wants to get all the Spider-Men together in one spot so he can rid all the dimensions of all the Spider-Mans because he says in order for for you to save the universe you're going to have to all come together and use your Spidey powers all the same time and they're like okay cool we'll do it and they all get together he's like haha actually now that you're all here in one space I'm going to rid the world of all of you. And then
so
that
he's
was
the
what
only
he wanted.
Spider-Man. So he's the only Spider-Man for all of them.
What?
Is he trying to kill all the other Spider-Men so he's the last one
Yes.
surviving? Oh, got it.
Yes. Oh
Okay.
yeah, because I said that it was a dark timeline Spider-Man. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I said the antagonist, which is the bad guy. So I'm like, is that what he's trying to do? Otherwise, it just sounds like you're forming a band, a very big band.
Yeah. I forgot. I forgot that I said that he was
Yes.
the
Yes.
yeah.
So
But
let's
yes.
just roughly, fun question here. How many Spider-Men are we talking about here? How many are in the
Okay.
movie?
Okay. There's those three, four. Um,
I like how you're really counting, but I don't even know what you're counting.
well, I'm
The ones
counting
you
all the
mentioned.
different Spider-Men in the movies that are out. I'm pretty sure that they all are in some movie together. I don't know if it's this one. I'm gonna say six.
Six. Okay. Six Spider-Man. Good. Those are all the questions that I have.
Oh my God, thank God.
Have you ever seen a Spider-Man movie in your entire life?
Um, I don't think so. I think I maybe saw the one with the upside down rain kiss in the theater when I was young, but I was really young, so I don't remember. But I think I did see that one.
Who was the bad guy in that one?
My God.
Let's do this. Name me three Spider-Man
No,
villains, and
no.
one of them not being Green Goblin. Can you? Just make them up. Just make them up.
The evil janitor. There's like a janitor guy, and he's like a school
Okay.
and he's like the one who like rids all of the spiders out of
Okay.
there's one that's like a
So
big can of Raid. Just that's the villain. And he's like, psh, psh, psh. And then
so
there's one that's
Raid,
like a
we have a
spider
school
trap.
janitor and a spider trap. Spider
Yeah,
trap man.
he's just like a
Okay.
piece of plastic thing that stays in the corner of your
Sounds
basement
pretty easy to
floor.
beat. Sounds pretty easy
Yeah,
to beat.
that's it. But he's enticing. Like there's something in there, like pheromones or something that the
Charisma.
Spider-Man can't resist.
He's got the
Yeah.
riz. Just
Yeah,
really
like moths
enticing.
to a flame. Moths to a
Moths to a
flame,
flame.
but Spider-Man to a spider trap in the corner of a basement. I mean,
See, that metaphor we used to use all the time as kids.
I grew up with that metaphor.
Do you think you're gonna like the movie?
It's a very people praise it a lot, and a lot of people think like I haven't heard a bad thing about this movie. Everything that I saw, reviews, I heard you guys talk about it. You all love this movie. It's very loved. So I'm like, why won't I love it? What am I not gonna love about it? I don't know.
I mean, you don't know. Maybe you just don't know Spider-Man. You're just like, I don't care about it.
You know what? I gave up on comic book movies a long time ago because they came out with too many, and I'm like, this is too much to keep up with. This is too much. I didn't want to. I was like, I can't.
This is too much.
Too much.
So, are you? She fixes her hair. Are you ready to Spider-Man dance into this? You ready to get her little web slings going?
Swebs. That's a Spider-Man dance move. We swebbing.
Swebbing.
Okay, and now we swung back to our seats. We're here. We're ready to talk about this movie.
Because we had just watched this, because you literally just seen this, and we literally just talked about this 2 hours ago, right before you watched the movie.
Yeah. We just changed clothes because again, we got sweaty watching the movie, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a full workout just to sit here and watch Spider-Man and all the Spider-Man. Those multiple Spider-Man.
Yes. I wasn't wrong, but we'll get into that.
Perfect. So now that we're back, let's get back into our questions. What is the movie about?
Okay. The movie is about Miles Morales is this teenage kid, and he stumbles upon a multiverse explosion type process happening underground in some place.
This sounds like you're doing a word count of an essay in school.
I'm gonna pass this time. So he stumbles upon this thing happening, and then he sees Spider-Man trying to prevent this thing from happening, and we'll get into what that thing is. And then he doesn't prevent it from happening. So this thing explodes, and then now there's a multiverse, and like all the other Spider-Men are coming, but then Miles has some powers too, so then he also becomes a Spider-Man, and then they have to defeat the person they have to stop the person who's trying to make the universes expand even more and try to set everything back to normal.
Yes. Okay, so who is the main villain in the movie?
Kingpin, and I don't know how I forget that it's all. I think I sometimes think that Spider-Man is DC. I don't know why. I get them confused sometimes in my head, and if I knew that it was Marvel, I'd been like, oh, think about the shows, Marie. Think about the shows. But I couldn't think of I made up some villains, a janitor and a spider trap. Yeah.
You did. And the janitor could have been a really, really cool villain in a comic book, because Stanley would have thought of it, but he didn't. Instead, he came up with a mobster Kingpin. So, not quite as cool as a janitor, as an evil janitor. Maybe all janitors are evil. Let's look into that. Like, are all of them bitter? Have you ever met like a super nice janitor at your school?
I don't know. Like, if you think back to like your elementary school days, wasn't the janitor always creepy AF?
That's what I mean. And because they're always like bitter, because all the kids like the sticky gum and the sticky soda. Like, it would make me bitter.
Sometimes puke, and they gotta get the sawdust out and put the sawdust on the puke.
What is that what they do? Sounds like a kitty litter.
Yes, it's like adult vomit kitty litter is like this bag of sawdust. And I just remember, hey, you want to know what defeats vomit? Sawdust. Sawdust has the super power to defeat vomit.
That's what Spider-Man should have been doing.
Yes, sawdust.
Spider-Man,
not webs, sawdust.
Oh, it comes out of his butt like a spider. It's dry. Sometimes he has to lube it up just to get it out of there. Otherwise, it just backs up all in there. It's just dry.
Oh, that wasn't ground up good enough. Didn't digest that one right. Need some more Metamucil tonight.
Metamucil. There you go. What makes the animation so unique in this film?
Hey, I don't actually know what the exact reasoning why it's so unique, but is it because it looks kind of like more comic book style? Like there's like a little dots
It
and
has
everything.
comic book style, but if you also
Yes.
notice that in the different, they use a lot of different styles of animation. So
Mhm.
where the Spider-Men come from, their styles fit. So their animation style fits that. So it's not just one form of animation that's done the entire time. Like for instance, you have Gwen Stacy, who's more of the past. It looks more like a watercolor, pastel kind of color. You see the one from Japan, the futuristic, so it has like a little
Mhm.
more of a futuristic feel to it. You have the old comic book, you got the film noir, the black and white. So they use different styles of animation that they use, and I thought that was really cool how the characters fit to what their world is. Super clever.
It was clever, or maybe I hated it. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait to see how
We'll
I feel
find
with the movie.
out. Okay. How is the multiverse activated in this movie?
By Kingpin's big ass machine called the Collider.
The collider, because it collides the different worlds.
That's why I couldn't think of a big machine that could make universes. Like I couldn't think of that when we were doing this. Like how could I not think of that?
Yeah.
Stupid.
It
I don't
said it
know.
was dreams.
Dreams, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's a gemstone.
Gemstone. What was Gemma? What was it? Gemma and the something? Was it Gemma and the gemstones? What was it?
It was Gem and the holograms, and she would
Gem
touch
and
her
the
ear.
holograms.
She'd touch her earring, go Showtime synergy, and she'd change from Jerica to Gem. And her boyfriend Rio was basically cheating on her with herself, but she didn't mind because it was with herself. I guess I was obsessed with that show.
So first of all, it sounds like Hannah Montana. Second of all, what a floozy. She doesn't care. So is it a way that she could remain a virgin, like somebody up here, while getting to be a naughty on the other end?
Okay, why are you not thinking that Rio's the naughty? He's the floozy when he's the
Oh,
one
he
cheating on his
absolutely is
girlfriend.
too. But like, why does she allow the duality of this? That's the question. Why the duality?
To make it seem innocent for cartoons for kids. I don't
Yep,
know.
exactly. So she can remain so she can convey that she's this innocent child, this flower, when in fact she's not. Here we go, diverting again. So, who does Stanley play in this movie?
Stanley
Not Jem.
plays a not Gem. No, he's not a floozy.
No,
He plays himself, and he has a collectible slash costume type store. And I said a comic book store, so I was pretty close.
pretty close. Not accurate, but close. And a little fun fact: Stanley is a floozy. That's what his reputation says. What is Miles' struggles in this film? What does he struggle with?
Well, before he has his spider powers, I said he's
Hmm.
struggling because he's creative and misses going to his public school and doesn't feel like he quite belongs in his private school. And he also doesn't feel like he can be open with his father and that his father doesn't quite understand him.
Correct. And he's also struggling with mastering his powers and the ability to
Yeah,
sit there and be a superhero.
once he gets the superhero powers, yes,
Hmm.
he is struggling. He has to like learn everything, and there's like a time crunch, and yeah, he can't tap into like why certain powers happen, and he has to try to do that.
And who is a love interest in this film?
Gwen,
Yes, not the janitor, Gwen Stacy.
unfortunately, again, it's always someone else and never the janitor.
Come
Jeez,
on, jeez, thing we've been living with. Who is Miles's role model in this film, and what happened to him?
his role model is his uncle,
Yes, and
Aaron.
what happened to him? Mhm.
Well, you find out that he's a prowler, and then he gets killed. He gets.
He gets sawdust.
And then someone came in my bedroom and threw sawdust in my eyes, and then I had these tears coming out, and I was like, "Oh my god, like what is this? Oh, it's sawdust. That's why."
What makes Miles more unique than the other spider people?
He can turn invisible, and he has this like
Hmm.
electricity power,
Electricity.
spark
You didn't
inside
know
him.
Spider-Man could do that, did you? He has that spark inside. Everybody says, you got a little twinkle in your eye. That's what they meant. He does.
You might really
But
have electrocuting powers. Just FYI, people try it out. Try to do it. Try to tap
try to
into
do
that.
it. What is the antagonist really trying to achieve in this movie?
Kingpin really wants to bring his family back from another dimension because his family saw what he was doing with Spider-Man one time and got afraid of him and left, and then they got into a car accident and they passed away. And then so he thinks that there's other dimensions he can bring his family in from another dimension and have his family again. Quite sad, actually.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I paid
I mean, it's
attention.
pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
So
is
now
it?
that I have some fun facts. So do you want to do fun facts before we get our stuff? Before we find out what your thoughts were in your score?
Yeah, before we get our stuff, let's
Before we
listen
get
to
our
the fun facts.
stuff?
Before we get our stuff.
Before
Okay.
we do our things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you hit pause anytime a train goes by because all the animators wanted to animate Stan Lee, he's in almost every single train.
Ooh, it's cool.
Yeah. According to comic book writer Brian Michael Bendis, Miles uses his mother's last name because his dad was a secret agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and wanted to keep Miles safe. By the time Jefferson was no longer an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Miles was too old to change his name.
Oh, is that true? Like backstory for his dad?
Yeah, the comic book writer. Yeah. Now, in the
Ooh.
movie, we don't know if that's still the case or not, but that's why he's Miles Morales. At around 8 minutes, Miles' physics test is dated December-2nd, 2018. While it's possible the Ultimate Universe has a different calendar, a concert poster in Miles' dorm room shows a December date. Since Miles was purposely trying to fail the physics test, December may have been yet another attempt to convince his teacher that he's too stupid to attend the academy.
Oh, no one's that stupid, Miles. No
I know.
one.
Don't make it so obvious. Come on
He
now.
did. He made it obvious.
Art directors Dean Gordon and Patrick O'Keefe and their
Hmm.
team turned to cubism to help represent the dimensional quakes. Cubist art often presents a collection of different views all happening at the same time, so it was a natural metaphor for the multiple universes converging in Spider-Verse.
Ooh. Okay, love it. Love it. Good fact.
Okay. At around 12 minutes before the radioactive spider bites Miles, it crawls over the spray paint cans and changes color to match each can. This is the power later passed on to Miles. It also suggests that Miles doesn't actually become invisible as everybody else in the film says. Rather, he most likely changes color to blend in with his background.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. It's more like chameleon styles. Okay, okay, okay.
That's what I always thought too, because you don't actually see him walk through walls or anything like that, or anything passing through him. Or it's more like a
Okay.
chameleon. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those are some
Oh
fun.
my
How
God.
fun were those facts? Those facts were like basically like you were like a 16-year-old going to a high school party and you're doing a cake stand. That's how fun it was.
That sounds terrible. That's never what I would say your fun facts were
No,
because I would never do that and
no,
I'd probably throw up and then they
nor
had
have
to get
I.
the sawdust and then it would just be a terrible time.
I would never do it. Yeah, I would never do a cake stand. There we go. Sawdust. So, what did you think of the movie? What are your thoughts? Marie's notes.
Okay, the thing is I can't get into Marie's notes without telling you what I thought of the movie because a lot of my notes are about my feelings on the movie. Sorry to break it to you, but I loved the shit out of this movie. I
Yeah.
cannot even express how blown away in love I am with this movie. I from the opening, I think I messaged you as I was watching this. From the opening, like production logos to the post-credit scene, I was like shaking inside and like crying almost half the movie
Knew
because I
right
love this
away,
movie.
right? That opening logo changes. I was already like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I was like, okay, and this is what I'm getting myself into. I already love this. Like seriously, the first little logo change, I was like, I'm sold. I'm in, fully in and committed to this. I love you so much into the Spider-Verse. I already loved it.
Good. You
And then
swung
it just
into it.
got better. I swung into it so hard and I just like I was stuck in it and I stayed in it forever. It was so good. Okay. So I'll get into Marie's notes. Opening production logo got me hyped. Something about the animation would give me motion sickness in the theater. It's so smooth. There's some parts of it where I was like, oh, but then I got used to it. I was okay.
Whoa.
Isn't we got sawdust out there? Oh, I love the blur effect on the background slash subjects that aren't the focus of the scene, even though it made me a bit dizzy. So if you're supposed to be focusing on someone or something in the scene, the rest of it has this like blur effect to it, or almost like you're wearing 3D glasses, and or no, you're not wearing 3D glasses, but you're looking at a 3D page. Yeah, I just like how they built the focus for what you're supposed to be focusing on in the scene. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I love how it got even more comic book style with speech bubbles after he got bit.
Hmm.
And then once he got bit and like he's getting all like spidery inside and his spider senses, there's all like I'm gonna start crying again. I just loved it so much. And there's all these like, and then it'd be like, and then the bang, boom, foot. No, oh god. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. The comedy is so good. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. Every scene, every sound, every song, every movement of the characters, every backdrop, every color choice slash artistic choice, editing, all perfect from opening to post-credit scene. That was the gist of it. Everything. They looked so human. All the movements of the faces and the movements of the bodies and like the way everybody walked. I was just like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. Okay. From Dusk to
Yes.
Shawn, loved it. From Dusk to Shawn, I love that billboard in
Yes.
Times Square. Yeah. I gasped so loud at the uncle's reveal as a prowler. I gasped, Daniel. I was like, you won't be able to hear because it'd be too actually high pitched. I was like, just like
Like that?
I literally was like, God. And then I started crying right away. I was crying.
Good.
But also whenever the prowler came in the scene, there's like that siren sound in the background, that
Hmm.
I was like in my veins. I loved it. I want that sound every time I walk into a room. Oh my God, please.
Wrong. Yeah.
If I could have a sound effect, it would be that siren sound. Be like, okay, Marie's coming into the Zoom. I'm like, I'm here. Oh, and I love Miles's Spider-Man suit, and I love his character so much. He's a cartoon, but it was like so natural, and the voice acting was so perfect. Like I felt like he was a real person. I'm like, I want to hang out with you. I loved it. I love his character. Okay, only two more. It made me want to research Spider-Man and watch slash read and learn more about Spider-Man. And then the last note is work of art, straight up crying because of how perfect it is. Loved it.
Good. All right. So I love the movie. It's my favorite Spider-Man movie, period.
Mhm.
I thought the animation, it's not your traditional, typical superhero movie. There's so many Easter eggs that if you watch one of
Mhm.
those like really comprehensive ones that's going to go through it all, you'll be blown away by like all the little tiny tricks and things they did for the original creators, the way they did it, stuff for like Stan Lee, Marvel, everything. There's so many Easter eggs in this. There's like no wasted time on any of this, which is awesome. The soundtrack is amazing. I love the
Yes.
Miles Morales character. I love the fact that it's somebody of color. So you have a half black, half Mexican or Hispanic Puerto Rican.
Mhm.
Spider-Man is freaking awesome, freaking rad to me to see. I just thought it was amazing. Yeah. I think it becomes like an art piece. Like that's essentially what this movie is. It's an art piece. And the fact that you combine all these different animation styles, genius.
It's not even just an art piece visually. In every aspect of this movie, it's an art piece. Like the soundtrack, yes, also so perfect. Like audibly, it's a masterpiece, and just the story, the acting, just everything about it is it's a perfect movie. It's perfect. And
Correct.
knowing that there's all that those Easter eggs in it makes me love it even more because it's just like there's so much passion and love and heart put into it, and there already is. Like even if you don't know the Easter eggs, like I didn't know, obviously, and Nick Cage is in it. Come on, it's gonna be good.
Yes.
Um, Knowing that all like the thought put into it makes it even better. Like I seriously want to cry again so hard because I love this movie. It's so good.
Good. That's how I felt. To me, it was a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect movie, damn near perfect movie, even though I think George tries to disagree with me on that by saying it's not. I'm like, where are the issues? Like, this movie's perfect, you know? And even if it's not maybe perfect off of a lot like from where the source material is from, like the movie
Yeah.
itself, I can see and I can appreciate. It's awesome. Beautiful piece of movie, a film. So good. So here's a, even though we already know the answer, are you gonna play it back? You're gonna rage quit it.
I almost played it back right after I watched it. I almost just watched it over again. And I
Yeah,
almost watched it the next day and that same night, and I almost I
you
wanna
need
watch it,
to.
like, every day. I love it. I'm one of those I love it.
You need to do it every day for 2 weeks. That we've seen at least 14 times.
I think I could. And, and I guess if you don't but the thing is about the source material not maybe won't be, like, perfect. I don't know because I don't know the source material.
Mhm.
To us commoners, it's perfect, and also, if you throw in too much source material that the average Joe doesn't know, we're gonna be confused, or we're not gonna get it, or we're gonna be like, I is this a reference? Is it like the comedy in this movie is so funny. Like it's so
Yes, it
funny
is.
and clever. It's just great. It's perfect. I don't even know what else to really say about it because I just everyone needs to watch it, even if you're not into comic book movies, even if you're not into superheroes, even if you're not into like animation movies. If you're not in whatever you're not into, who cares? This movie's perfect. None of that matters. It's that good. Daniel, I wasn't that
Enthused.
enthused to watch it. I was like, yeah, okay, sure. Because like I said in the first half, I gave up on a lot of superhero movies just because there's so many of them and stuff. But thank you for making me watch this movie.
You're welcome. And that's the fun why we do this show. So that way I can make her watch some good stuff that she would never have been privy to.
It's like it's seriously, you guys, he has made me cry more than any other human on this planet.
Yes.
Some good ways, and some not so
Mostly
good,
bad.
but I appreciate them all. And this was a very
Mhm.
good way. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you introduced me to this movie in my life. I don't know if this movie made anyone else cry because of its beauty, but hell, I was
I'm
crying.
sure
I
a
was
lot of it
laughing.
did.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I'm sure a lot of people did. But it was amazing. But that's why we do the show. I'll have a doozy for you next time.
Just maybe like no more crying because I can't. I'm running out of like my mascara funds are dying out. So thank you for watching this episode of Late to the Game, where Daniel forces me to watch movies I embarrassingly haven't seen, and now that I should have been embarrassed not seeing this movie because wow, what a masterpiece. You can find more of our content on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Not a Strong Start. You can follow me on Instagram at Marie Plays It All.
And you can follow me at King_Sangre.
Never stop playing and never stop having sawdust on hand just in case you're gonna puke, guys.
And anytime you're hungover or you're super dizzy, just call that your spider sense.
That's a good way to romanticize it. Ooh, I'm gonna get drunk tonight.
Exactly. That way I can call out to my job and like, oh, sorry, boss, can't come in. My spidey sense is going berserk.
It's tingling too hard. I'm getting too tingly over here.
Just means I used a whole bag of sawdust the other night. No,
Got a sliver in my butt.